It is Earth Day, and we have some sustainable sips and an expert to talk about how the climate is changing the way we imbibe. We also have a very cool food collab going on in Denver that can make you love breakfast even more. And 2 important health stories focused on your everyday mobility and support right when you most need it. Colorado & Company starts right now.
Portions of Colorado & Company contain paid content.
Good friends, gonna get you through the day. Good friends.
Oh, wow. I'm admiring her tattoo. Hello, everybody. Audrey Sharp with Plum Creek Garden Market stopped by 9 News with all kinds of flowers and plants. They're opening for the season on Friday, and you can get drought-resistant and hardy blooms for your home and garden. Learn more at plumcreekgardenmarket.com. All right, raise your hand. I'm gonna already do this. If you bought a plant only to watch it slowly fade away no matter how many times you water it. I have one currently at my desk and it looks very, very sad. Lucky for us, we have Lauren from LF Succulent Events here today with greenery that anyone, she says anyone, she doesn't know me, can keep alive, even yours truly. Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.
So earthy right here. I love the outfit. Yes, looks good with the red head. Before we get into what we're making today, tell us about LF Succulents events and what's going on there.
Yeah, so today is actually a very special day. I am celebrating 10 years of LF Succulent events on Earth Day.
Yay!
It's very exciting. Thank you.
That's
so
amazing.
Yeah, so it's very special to be here. So I have just kind of a self-proclaimed succulent nerd. I love the textures, the colors. I love decorating with them, just designing, and I love bringing that passion and knowledge of everything I've learned over 10 years into workshops. And I teach people how to keep them alive, how to design with them. It's really just a very special business that I've created, and succulents are just my passion.
I have to be honest, they're also like very in right now.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Everyone's into succulents, even though I don't know what I'm doing. It's Earth Day, so what we're doing, we're gonna make a succulent and crystal terrarium today. So let's get into it. Why is this so important, and this is such a good option for people who struggle to keep plants alive?
Absolutely. So they are sustainable. They do not require a lot of water.
Which is good right now.
Yes,
Because
yes.
we're in a drought.
They do thrive on a lot of light, and they also thrive on a lot of neglect. So you don't have to. The number one way for people to kill a succulent is to overwater it. So
this is what I've done.
Yeah.
This is what, and they
you
rot.
love too hard.
I love
That's
too hard. Oh my God, you've summed me up so well. Okay, so this is my question. How do you know if a succulent is thriving versus silently just judging you? Like, for instance, how do you know if it's overwatered or underwatered?
So if it's overwatered, the leaves are really mushy.
So that's the squishy?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
mine are
so
all,
so they're desert plants essentially.
Yeah.
So what happens is they hold their water in their leaves, and if they're not getting enough water, the leaves get really shrivelly, and if they're getting too much water, that's when they get all mushy and they rot, and then you can't really come back from that.
Yeah. Okay. So if they're underwater, what are they? They're a little.
They get shrivelly.
Shrivelly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. They're like
Okay.
wrinkles and.
Okay. So you're gonna make a little demo here. Is that what's
Yeah.
gonna happen? Show me what you're doing here.
Yeah. So this is kind of the example of what we're
Isn't
going
that
to make
precious?
in a different way. So. The most important part of the workshops, especially the terrarium workshop, which is my most popular one,
I'm sure.
is the soil. Because you definitely want to have very well draining soil when you have a succulent.
Okay.
Just because, like I said, they are desert plants, so they are not used to a lot of water, so they don't like a lot of water. So I actually pre-mixed my own soil. It is made of 3 ingredients. It's organic, it's cocoa coir, perlite, and worm castings.
A worm cat. Okay.
Yeah, that gives it the nutrients that it needs. So very well draining. And so how we're going to put this together, there's kind of a little bit of a formula that I teach. There's not really any rules or like regulations to how you do it. It's just part of the design. So we start with the soil. I put a little bit of moss in the back just to give it a little bit of texture.
Moss is our director's name. Moss, you're in here, bud. You're very welcome.
Maybe this is his gift.
This is your gift.
So we'll start with kind of your showstoppers. This is what's called the thrillers. So I usually start with those because they're usually the biggest. That's what your focal point's going to be of the terrarium.
Okay.
So you just kind of, I'll give you this to you to just kind of put into it.
This is a
Just
bad
twist it in. Just put it right into the soil.
Oh God, she doesn't know me. She does not know me.
No one's judging.
Okay, can you guys see that? So that goes right there.
Yep,
okay.
perfect. Okay, so then we'll just kind of put the others around it. So just kind of twist it in.
And how hard do you have to push it in? Not that hard?
Not that hard.
And then this guy?
Yep,
So again, you guys see this? The roots are still hanging from here, and we just kind of push it in.
Yes, absolutely.
See, this is where I'd mess up.
Yeah, no, and it can go over too. So the roots will grow into the soil. So
Okay.
however you put it in, it will grow like that.
It'll
So,
grow
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so continue, and as you're talking, and you can keep putting stuff in.
Sure.
I know you host workshops around town. When can people expect, and what can they expect when they attend?
Yeah, absolutely. So what kind of workshops I offer? Obviously the terrariums. I do wreaths, I do kokedamas, which are little moss balls, and then over the holidays I do have quite a bit. So
Oh, I imagine.
we can do ornaments,
Oh, wow.
pumpkins, so pretty much anything you can
cute.
put a succulent on, I can do it.
I like the wreath with the little lights. I'm a big fairy light girl.
Yes, yes, yes. So that is
Mine doesn't
actually,
stick.
you can
Okay,
just
there we go.
pop
Okay.
it right in. And
Okay.
so these are what you call the spillers. So you have your thrillers, your fillers, which kind of take up the negative space, and then
Okay.
the spillers, which will actually grow
Over.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a little bit of dimension.
I
a little
love
bit of
that.
texture.
Okay, and what is this
And
here?
then the moss is just kind of extra. So it does serve two purposes. So it does retain moisture, since like I said, you don't want to overwater the succulents.
Yeah.
You just pop that moss in, water where the moss is, and then it holds that water in instead of just kind of sitting.
Amazing. Okay, not only do you do workshops, but the big thing is weddings. Everybody's obsessed with weddings. Usually flowers are tossed, but your arrangements live on. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I have been in the wedding industry for quite some time. It really guts me when a florist does a beautiful arrangement and then it gets thrown away.
thrown away,
at the end of
right.
the night. Yeah, so what I like to include is succulents, and the couple can take them out of their bouquets, their boutonnieres, and then keep them after the wedding as a nice little keepsake.
Oh, that's
To
cute.
remember their wedding, give them as gifts. Whatever happens after the wedding is up to them, but yeah.
That's beautiful. All right, Moss, this
Yep.
one is for you. We're going to hold it up here. Ta-da!
And then you'll add crystals.
Oh, and then I can add crystals.
yes.
Okay, we'll put
Yep.
some this, and
Just
a
kind of
little,
gives a little
add, a little
yes.
zhuzh. Okay, we're gonna put the crystals right
And
in
I
there.
actually have one extra special one for you. Nice
Ooh!
little sparkle.
Look at this sparkle. That's gonna go
And that's
right.
like your cherry on top.
This is the cherry on top. This looks phenomenal. I'm giving this to Moss right away. Sign up for a workshop, book a private session with Lauren, or let her handle your wedding florals if you want to attend one of Lauren's workshops. She has one coming up on Mother's Day at Barkentine, am I saying that right?
Barkentine.
Barkentine Brewing Company at Edgewater Public Market, Sunday, May 10th. Just go to lfboutique.com or find her on Instagram, as we all do, at the handle on your screen. Thank you again, Lauren.
you.
And congrats on 10 years.
you.
Happy Earth Day. That's right. Coming up in today's Earth Day show, how sustainability is changing the industry's way of growing and selling wine. So we have a list of innovative companies to watch. And, you know, we throw in a little tequila as well. You know what I mean? We got to do it. You got to cover our bases. This looks so good. Speaking of covering all of your bases, your home needs to be able to handle it all, like the wind, the sun, the hail, and huge temperature swings, which we have in Colorado. And that's why it's the perfect time to take a look at your home's exterior and get ahead of any issues now. Dave Thomas, one of our favorites from Mountain Safe Exteriors, hello, is back with a huge deal for Coco viewers. All right, it wasn't exactly a harsh winter, like at all.
No.
But that doesn't mean our homes are in the clear, am I right? What kind of wear and tear should people be looking at this time of year?
Well, there's a lot going on, other
Yeah.
than you who's over here still freezing.
I'm always cold.
It's 80 degrees outside, and if you watch the news before we got on here,
Yeah.
tomorrow we're going to have 40 to 60 mile an hour gusts.
Oh, really?
That's really, really bad for fires. And as you know, we didn't get any snowpack this
Yeah,
year.
so it's dry.
So it's so dry. You've got to consider protecting your house.
Got it.
All right?
Okay. How do we do that?
Well, electrical line falls, the grass lights on fire, and the embers blow, and they roll up to the base of your house, and they light your house up like a tinderbox, especially if it's made out of wood siding or has wood siding, cedar, or press board, that garbage that I show you all the
Yeah.
time, right? Well, the one thing you can do is protect your house with James Hardie fiber cement.
Nice.
It's called fiber cement, really should be called fiber concrete because that's what it is. It's a little bit of Portland cement, sand, wood pulp, and water. The pros, it will look just like grill wood. We can even stain it to match, right?
See, I like these.
I know, they're
Those.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
This is not a paint. This is like the glazing on pottery. They run this through very high temperature ovens and they bake it on. So hail-proof, rot-proof, mold-proof, no insects, no woodpeckers, if you have got big bowling ball holes carved through from the little buggers. But the most important is it's fire resistant.
Okay,
yeah.
wow.
So they just passed the Colorado wildfire mandate. It's being adopted by all the different jurisdictions this year. basically you can't build homes the way that you built them. You have to take fire into account. And that's where Mountain Safe comes in. In fact, Mountain Safe was founded upon making homes in the mountains, although
just
we
put
are
that
much,
together.
much larger than that, our reach.
That makes sense.
But it was to protect people that own homes in conifer, evergreen, pine, Boulder
Sure.
Canyons, and all those places. But it's really good for all of Denver, because you saw a couple years ago, Louisville and Superior, regular suburban neighborhoods, just boom, engulfed, right?
Yes.
Look at the house. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic. We can do anything. It's a very, very easy project. We can add weather barriers or vapor barriers, which are required, which stop the wind, the rain, the hail, the draft from penetrating. We can add insulation to your house. Full 3D design rendering. We come out to the house, takes us about 35 minutes. We do grab photographs all around the house, and then we can literally model what your house will look like. So not only are you protecting it, but you literally get to change the curb appeal.
Right, and you get to make
Which
it
is
look
awesome.
better.
Yeah,
which is
however you want, yeah.
Amazing. Okay, I hear there's a special deal. If the viewers know I like a good
Yeah.
I shimmy with a deal. What is the deal this month?
So it's our big siding sale. We're trying to queue up all these jobs for springtime so you can get in living in your house fabulously in summer. It's 25% off your entire James Hardie project.
Ooh, 25%.
That includes your soffit, your fascia, your gutters, your leaf protection, everything on the outside.
Do you have to mention anything, or is it just it's already 25%
That's
off?
our ad, but for Colorado and Company viewers, we also will give you 24 months same as cash financing, which is killer. No money down. You can be darn sure we're going to show up there when we tell you, and we can be darn sure you do a good job, because until you sign off on it that you love it, the financing does not begin. And then you have 2 years of free money
So it won't start. The 2 years doesn't start till it's
until the job is done.
Wow.
Yep.
Look at that, Colorado. You're welcome, viewers. Okay, starting this process, I know for myself, can be overwhelming. Can they come to you? Can they come to your
They can come to the
warehouse?
showroom and see everything, but honestly, with siding, we primarily like to come out there.
Yeah.
It's a great time also to consider where you're placing your windows with your siding, so that we can attach them with what?
A flange.
A flange, right? A nailing fin. We are the certified installing Marvin retailers in town, so great time. You can come see all the fine products that Marvin offers at our showroom. It's gorgeous. See the big doors and stuff that we can't bring out to your house.
Right.
But really, totally transform the look of your home.
And you can do it all together.
Everything.
That's probably the best idea.
Yeah,
to
no
do it
question.
all together.
Yep.
You also have, and it's from satellites. Like we just
Yeah.
went to the moon, but you guys have like, or I guess we orbited the moon, but you guys have a 3D rendering system.
Yep.
That can take satellites, and so we can see whatever colors we want. Is that
Yeah,
true?
absolutely. Rebecca's doing it there on the computer screen, but you can come down to the showroom, we can do it right in your house, where we can totally change and design every color, every style, look on the house. It's all free. We want you to love it before
cool.
before you go through. There we threw some black windows in there, look awesome. I think that house was an evergreen as well.
Look how rad that looks.
It's really cool.
And I do have to say, your customer,
Yeah.
I read reviews.
Yeah.
Like I just was reading reviews about stuff. You guys have just like all 5 stars.
Thanks. Yeah, we do. The owner's a little bit OCD, and we run our own crews, and customer service is a dying art these days,
you.
but not
Thank
to
you.
us. We will go out of our way to make sure that you love your house when we're done.
Beautiful. And just to end really quickly, that's
Yep.
because you guys at the team at Mountain Safe just got a big award. Tell
We
me
did.
about the award.
We are the President's Club Award winners. Last year, we installed, I think, probably the second most hardy west of the Mississippi, so we're doing a good job.
You guys are a hardy bunch.
Yeah, we are a hardy bunch.
It's a good
Thanks.
fun, huh? No one likes it.
Some
I
of
get
us
it.
more hardy than others.
I just had a huge breakfast. Dave, as we said, is giving Colorado and Company viewers a special discount during this entire month of April. 25% off all James Hardie siding and no payments for 2 years. That is such a deal, you guys. Go to mountainsafe.com for more information. Or, like I said, visit the showroom. Meet in person. It's in Greenwood Village. You can also call 720-955-2120. And the best thing is they're not pushy. You guys are just educational.
That's it.
And you wear good hats.
Yeah,
you know what I
thanks.
mean? Yeah, thank you. Mountain Safe Exteriors, sponsored today's segment. Still ahead, why twisting is more painful than stepping upstairs. Understanding hip pain next with an expert from Ortho Colorado Hospital, and it's a hip little segment.
The following interview involves commercial content. The products and services featured appear as paid advertising.
Hip pain is kind of a mystery, and in today's Healthy Colorado conversation, we explore what could actually be causing that hip pain. We all know that hips don't lie, but did you also know that they have a stabilizer or a labrum that's just like our shoulders? And earlier, Dr. Aaron Casp stopped by from Ortho Colorado Hospital, part of Common Spirit Health, to chat it out.
So the hip labrum is a soft cartilage ring that goes around the edge of the socket. It's really important to deepen the socket, pressurize, and create a suction seal that helps seal in that joint fluid to help stabilize your joint.
So you want joint, it's like, oh my God, it's like car fluid.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, yeah. Okay, how does someone typically tear? That's what that happens to the labrum, the hip labrum. What happens?
Most oftentimes it is torn with something what we call impingement. It's where the area below the ball on the hip contacts the socket, and the hip labrum is caught in between in sort of a nutcracker effect.
I see.
And gets torn. And this can happen through high hip flexion activities like high squatting, dancing,
Like ballet
type things, or repetitive motions like running can also do it.
Oh, I see. Okay, the labrum, important. What symptoms should we be looking out for the hip labrum? Because some people are gonna just have like sore hips.
Sure.
I wanna know what's the difference?
Yeah, true hip pain, hip joint pain, usually comes from the front of the joint, and that usually is pain in your groin crease area. That's sort of that deep pain that you can't really touch. And oftentimes it bothers people with prolonged sitting, again, sitting with their knees flexed beyond 90 degrees, or some people have it, anytime they go from sitting to standing. My most common complaint is when people are sitting in a car, because it's sort of that half standing, half sitting position.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's important to look out for that. When is it time to be like, hey, Dr. Casp, I need to see you?
Yeah, anytime that you are having mechanical symptoms, such as clicking or popping in your hip, or if you have that pain that's deep in your groin crease that is not going away, even if you've modified what you're doing and taking some over-the-counter anti-inflammatories,
Yeah.
I would say you should probably see a hip specialist.
Okay, I have clicking, now I'm just having a private consultation. I have clicking in my knee every time I walk upstairs. Is that bad?
That's usually soft cartilage behind your kneecap. A lot of people have that. As long as it's painless.
Yeah, no pain.
As long as it's painless, I say kind of leave it alone.
Okay, I like that. All right, anything we can do to keep our hips happy hips?
Yeah, strength is really important for your hips, and most people sort of ignore that because
Yeah.
it's not one of the more glamorous muscles to work out. So a lot of hip and sort of buttock muscle strengthening really helps support the joint.
Okay, what about the weightlifting that women are supposed to do? Can you use, hip thrusts? Is that good?
Yep, hip thrusts help with your gluteal stability and hip strength overall. So those are a great exercise that has become more popular for a number of reasons.
Yeah, right? Yeah, there you go. Okay, you say that treatment has come a long way over the years. So what does treatment and recovery look like, especially for the hips?
Yeah, for a hip labrum tear, this is something that's relatively new. We're treating this arthroscopically now, which basically means we use a couple of small incisions and use some tiny instruments and a
right?
camera to repair that labrum back up onto the socket rim, and then at the same time contour or shave down any bone that was causing the impingement or pinching on the labrum to begin with.
Okay, and how long does that take for recovery?
So it usually requires a couple weeks on crutches. Start physical therapy within about a week or so of surgery. Most people are back doing their everyday activities in a pain-free manner in about 8 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Back to full unrestricted athletic activity, returning punts for the Broncos in about 4.5, 5 months.
4.5, 5 months. Can you imagine if I returned the punts? I can't. Human kindness is what Common Spirit Health is all about. Visit their website and search for hospitals and doctors in your area. Just go to mountain.commonspirit.org. This Healthy Colorado segment is sponsored by Common Spirit Health. Thanks, Dr. Casp. Your hip? April is Parkinson's Awareness Month, and it's just a chance to take some time to focus our attention on a disease that affects more than 1 million people in the United States. Earlier, Kelly spoke with Robert Beatty, who's living with the disease, and John Leet, the president and CEO of the Parkinson's Foundation. Take a look.
Thank you both so much for joining us today. Let's jump right in. John, for someone who may not know, what is Parkinson's disease?
Yeah, so Parkinson's disease is a neurological disorder. It's degenerative, which means it gets worse progressively over time. It affects 1 million Americans, and 90,000 individuals are newly diagnosed each year. It's considered a movement disorder, so it primarily affects movement. So you might notice a resting tremor, difficulty walking, balancing, transferring from one place to the other. But it also has non-motor symptoms that can affect mood, sleep, and cognitive ability. So no two people experience the disease the same way. So it's really important that you get the best care as early as possible.
John, are there any basics we should know about Parkinson's?
Yeah, I think the thing to know about Parkinson's is that it is primarily a disease of later in life. People are generally diagnosed in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Only a relatively small number of people will have an early diagnosis before the age of 50. And as I said, no two people have the same course of disease. Some people have rapid onset of symptoms, and some people's disease progresses slowly over time. Getting a really good diagnosis as early as you can and having a great clinical team is really important, but you also need a support team of care partners and loved ones.
Robert, thank you so much for being here today. If you don't mind me getting a little personal with you, how do you manage your symptoms with Parkinson's?
Thank you for having me. Managing Parkinson's has been about taking an active role in my health. When I was diagnosed, I decided I wasn't going to let the disease define my outlook on life. I chose a positive mindset, assembled a strong care team, and developed an exercise plan which helps with mobility, balance, and overall well-being.
Now, Robert, what advice would you give to patients and their caretakers?
Well, the biggest piece of advice I'd give to someone recently diagnosed with Parkinson's is that when you receive that diagnosis, you're not the only one that receives it. Your family, your friends, all the people that love you receive that diagnosis as well, and they want to help support you. And for care partners, the Parkinson's Foundation has plenty of resources, and you're a vital part of that person's team as well.
John, are there any resources that people can use to help them?
Yeah, so the Parkinson's Foundation prides itself on being the trusted and go-to source for all things Parkinson's. We have a website, parkinson.org, which has all the materials you would need to understand Parkinson's disease, both in English and in Spanish. And we also have a helpline, which is staffed by specialists in Parkinson's care who can answer any questions that you have and direct you to local resources. That number is 800-4PD-INFO. That's 800-4PD-INFO.
John and Robert, thank you so much both for joining us today. This is a very important topic that our viewers need to know about, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For those resources that John mentioned and for more information, all you have to do is log on to parkinson.org. They sponsored today's mention. When Colorado and Company returns, it's totally okay to be grumpy. As a matter of fact, it's downright delicious. More after the break. All right, there's a collab in our future, and it's going to elevate your breakfast and your bakery binge. I love that. We all know musician baker Little Moses Jones. He's one of our favorites. Hello, sir.
How you doing?
Good to see you again. He is, of course, the owner of Urban Bread Company, and we also have Eddie and Jennifer Moreno from the Grumpy Egg Cafe. Adorbs. They've come together to serve up something truly delicious. So let's get into it. Eddie, what's with the name Grumpy Egg? Because I think it's so smart because it sticks out.
Well, you know, we took a vote. We ran through all kinds of names before we decided that we all wake up grumpy.
I do. I was going to say, I'm not a nice person.
So the only thing that fixes that is a good breakfast.
That's so good. You put it all in one. It's a great name. We're going to talk about your bakery expansion in May. But first, tell me about what you're now offering at the cafe.
Well, right now we do a full breakfast menu from huevos rancheros to corned beef and hash, French toast, pancakes, of course the burritos and the sandwiches.
You are speaking my language.
Don't forget the Eddie Special. It's a great sandwich.
What is the Eddie Special?
So an Eddie Special is ham, bacon, sausage, 2 over medium eggs, 2 pieces of cheese on sourdough bread with grilled onions and hatch chili.
Good Lord. So you don't like meat, is that what you're saying? No meat there.
Or eggs.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Jennifer, my love, you brought the donuts, but they're not ordinary donuts.
No.
Why? Tell me.
Well, we've been making our donuts since the late 80s. We have a secret recipes for our apple fritters. And our donut guy, he's been making donuts since he was 12 years old, so he carried that on from his father.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So it's
and
like
they're not little. Our donuts, this right here is our average size donut, but our donuts get big.
They get big? I appreciate. I don't need a teeny weeny donut. I want a donut. You know what I mean? Capital D.
That's what you get.
That's right. Now let's talk about the bakery expansion. Why is now the time to do it?
Well, it's been a thought of ours for quite some time. We just had the opportunity like a year ago to get started with this. And we want to move forward because our community, they keep asking for more. So right now we just do the donuts. They want specialty cakes, pies, clusters, oh gosh, a variety of things that we do.
It's good to hear that your community is literally like asking you for more.
Oh,
That's
they're
a
not
very good sign. And that you're part of the community too.
Oh, for sure.
I like when that happens. Enter Little Moses Jones. Hello, sir. Good to see you. He's always amazing. Owner, of course, of Urban Bread Company. Are you psyched to have your breads in their bakery?
Yeah, you know, I love that part. And the best part is now, since I wanted to go in starting at 5 in the morning and start baking breads daily inside the bakery.
Oh, wow.
And so now everybody who drives by has got to like stop.
Yeah, right.
Something's going on here. Let me go ahead and get me some breads and some great coffees. They're gonna have some really good coffees and
You
stuff.
like a good coffee. Yeah. Are you grumpy in the morning?
I'm not.
I could see you being up and like nice.
Well, my dog gets me up at 4:15 if I'm not up baking already. I have to go walk them big dogs. So
Yeah.
So after a while, you're like, okay, I can't be grumpy. It's time. Okay.
Good for you. And baking bread is so good for your soul.
Yeah, it's good for you.
It is good for you.
It's very healthy too.
It is very healthy. So you're kind of famous for the ways you tie community together. Why is it so important to you to bring the community in to the breads and everything for you?
Because I love, especially with food and stuff, with bringing the community, they like to be able to talk to people. They like to get to know people.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, hey, let me go get some bread or some donuts or something. They stop and talk to me. I mean, they have jokes and things. So it's like you really get involved with the city of Thornton where we're at, or any community that you're in, and it brings people in when you start talking to them versus just selling something.
Yeah, agreed. And everyone's on their phone and no one's talking and no one's having a face-to-face conversation. So that's good. You even you are injured right now. You're like on the injured list. What happened?
So I did a show with Rick Lewis
We love
project.
the Rick Lewis project.
In Cabo. So it was nice.
Uh-oh. Some Patron? What happened?
So, but before the show, I was on a snorkeling boat because I'm like, well, I might as well go snorkeling.
Love a good snorkel.
Man, got done. I'm like, okay, this is great. Go to the restroom, come back. Well, these stairs are literally like straight up and down. So fine, I'm climbing up. I get ready to step over, and that's when my foot slipped. And I got 3 broken ribs and a bruised spleen.
And you're still here.
Yeah, I had to do a show too. I had to do a 3-hour show.
Commitment, sir. Commitment. That's unbelievable.
You don't stop.
No, you don't stop.
I mean, if I don't do something, it's like, yeah, he's
something's wrong.
Yeah,
something's terribly wrong. Well, thank you for being here, Eddie. I want to go over the details on where you are now and when the expansion is happening, so that the community can know and our Colorado & Co viewers can know.
So right now we are in Thornton. We're on 120th in Colorado.
Got it.
Right on the corner. We're basically planning on expanding and opening on the 15th, mid-May.
Mid-May. Perfect for Mother's Day, huh?
Perfect Mother's Day
That's
gift.
amazing.
My Mother's Day gift.
It's your Mother's Day gift. Expansion for Jennifer. Amazing. That's so cool. So congratulations, you both. And for you, can you just tell us what you brought real quick?
Okay, well, let's see what we got. We got zucchini bread right here. Everybody loves zucchini bread.
Yep.
Then our standard classic banana bread. I think it's the best in town, but everybody has banana breads that they think is great. And then this is a new one I just put on the menu. This is a orange pecan bread with citrus glaze.
Ooh.
And so,
good for spring.
Yes.
Yeah,
and it has like a little, I put a little, what's that stuff called? Flavoring. So it's almost like a little black licorice type
like
flavor.
anise or
just,
something.
yeah, anise.
Nice.
I didn't know if I should just explain it.
We're culinary here. We know our stuff. Unbelievable.
And then, of course, on the end, it's not your standard peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh, I know
this. Is peanut butter and jelly bread. PB&J bread.
I love your thoughts. You're like Willy Wonka of bread over here.
Right.
Everybody visit the Grumpy Egg Cafe in May for the bakery grand opening and for Jennifer's Mother's Day present. Urban Bread Co.'s delicious dessert breads will be there to delight you. You can follow on socials. You can visit to stay updated. UrbanBreadCo.com and at Urban Bread Co. and of course at GrumpyEgg.com. ColoratoandCompany.com. Thank you all. You're making me very hungry, very, very hungry. When Colorado and Company returns, the comeback trend of handwritten notes. It's about darn time, you know what I mean? Plus, you can win some free stuff, and that's always a plus. Stay with us. We got 200,000 views a month on social media and growing, so don't get left out. Follow us on social media at Colorado and Company. We also post full episodes and segments on YouTube, so subscribe and stay on top of all our great local content. Everybody needs a little more cocoa in their lives, don't you guys think? Yeah, we all think. Good job. Glad you're still with us on Colorado and Company. April turns out to be letter and card writing month. So we invited our favorite paper person, that's what you're called, Sarah Collins, owner of Whimsicals Paperie, to talk about how cards and letters can be a great way to set you apart and add joy to your day, as well as someone else's. Yes. There really isn't anything like getting a card.
I know,
you know
it's
what
really
I mean?
special.
So you're passionate about paper, recycled paper, we should say, talking about sustainability. Share more about Whimsicals Paperie.
Yeah, so this is a company that I started and built. I'm the owner, artist, and designer behind it.
Thank
Bravo.
you.
Thank you so much.
That's not easy to do.
It's not easy to do. It takes a lot of time.
Yes.
And a lot of hats. You have to wear a lot of hats. But one of my favorite hats is of illustration and designing the products. So the products are all they start with hand-drawn illustrations. Oh, wow. So like the little owls and everything you see, I draw those with watercolor pencils.
I was going to say, is it watercolor?
Yeah, watercolor pencils.
Oh,
yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then I use those images then to design and print the cards.
Unbelievable. And when did you start this?
So I've been doing this now for 15 years.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
You know, it takes so much effort, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I'm going to ask you this, but we all know, why do you think handwritten notes are even more important in today's world? Because if I get a letter,
I know.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Right?
This feels
like precious.
It is, but why do you think?
Well, so like handwritten correspondence goes back, you know, a really long time, but it's changed throughout the decades and the centuries. And we're in a time where we have ease of communication and accessibility of communication, which is a great thing.
Of course.
And so we're not writing super long letters anymore, but we're still writing notes. And it's so important because it's something tangible. It's something you can hold in your hands. And like texts and video chats and all those are so great, but it's so special and different from anything else to get a handwritten note from somebody.
It is, and once, like my mom has given me stuff, and once she's passed, like her handwriting is vital to have, you know what I mean? I should get a tattoo, I really should.
A friend of mine does.
A lot of people
and
do.
It's so beautiful.
Amazing.
Yes.
How should someone start with a handwritten note?
Yes.
Like, dearest Mary. Like, how does one
do that? Make it as fancy as you can. No, I would say just start really simple, like a couple lines and a couple sentences is perfect. Like I actually did like a little example here.
That's cute.
And I just wrote, our last conversation was so encouraging. Thank you for your friendship. I adore spending time with you.
Oh, wow.
And like it can be just something as simple as that.
And then it makes their day.
Yes,
I want to see who do you have?
Oh,
a llama? Look at the little llama.
With this little flower heart.
Yeah, look at him.
Yeah.
It's a no drama llama.
That's right.
So cute. I love your illustrations. They're
Thank
excellent.
you.
Let's talk about what else you brought today.
Yes. Okay. So I brought box note cards, which are my hands down bread and
Biggest
butter.
seller,
Yes,
I was gonna say.
bestseller. And so box note cards. There's 8 cards, 8 envelopes in a box. And
are they all different? 8 different ones?
So you can do both, either.
Oh,
So
I
you
see,
can do like these ones that you see here. There's 8 of these like B cards,
save
right?
these.
I know, and they're blank on the inside, and they come with the envelopes. Or you can get variety packs.
Cute.
And variety packs have 8 different cards.
I
in
love
them.
that. Look at the otters.
I know.
That's darling.
The art. People love the otters.
Yeah, you're a great artist.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Very whimsical.
Yeah.
If you will.
I mean,
if you
perfect,
will.
right?
And you are doing a super cute giveaway. Talk to me about that.
Okay, so this is part of the giveaway. And then this. So what I want to do is make it super fun and easy to send some cards. So I'm doing a giveaway of 2 boxes of cards, of these assorted cards. This one's the fan favorites.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, so this one I picked the top 8 designs that people buy and put them in a box. And then this is the Colorado pack, which seemed appropriate.
Very appropriate.
So you get 2 of each of those. So you get 16 cards. that, and then you also get a book of stamps because
Brilliant.
then that makes it easy.
Because who has stamps?
I know,
That's a good point.
right?
That's a good point.
And they're cute.
I was
Those are
going to
baby
say, look at
animals.
these.
I know.
There's a skunk, there's a koala, there's a deer, there's a seal. These are really darling. So these would be really great. And this would make the whole look just
Right?
finished. That's
Yes.
great. I like the Colorado pack.
Yeah.
So I see that the artwork is unique, but what else makes your product stand out?
Well, so I'm woman-owned. I make everything
Bravo.
start to fit. Thank you.
Bravo.
I make everything start to finish in my home studio, and then I go out around Colorado and sometimes even beyond and do markets so people can come shop in person, but then they can also shop online. So I'm really big into local, really big into keeping things where I'm just helping represent our state well.
Bravo.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And these are recycled as well?
Yeah, so the envelopes and the boxes all are recycled.
Amazing.
Yes, and then everything is recyclable.
Amazing. So, okay,
Yes.
that's amazing. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, you're killing it out there, and I think so
you.
many of our viewers would use this. And send it to someone you haven't heard from in a while and could use a boost. We could all use a
Exactly.
boost. And the best way to shop, let's talk about the website. Let's plug it.
Okay, so go to whimsicalspaperie.com.
Got it.
And then there will be a banner at the top of the website, and click that. And then there's a little form to fill out to enter the giveaway for the 2 boxes and the stamps.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I'm
Beautiful
gonna-
job.
Thank you.
Beautiful job. So shop Whimsicals Paperie. See all the stuff. Don't forget to enter to win, as she said, the Happy Mail gift set that includes 2 boxes of cards and a book of stamps. Go to Paperie.com and click on the banner. Follow Sarah on Facebook and Instagram at Whimsicals Paperie. I love that. My diary growing up was Whimsicals Filibusters. What a dork. Such a dork. From DC, when Colorado and Company returns, we do a lot of whining with expert and author Brian Friedman. Stay with us. Wine and spirit producers are keenly aware of the climate and how it changes and affects their products. So in the book Crushed, How a Changing Climate is Altering the Way We Drink, you learn how wine and spirits from around the world are being produced and even consumed differently. We are joined now by author Brian Friedman. Brian, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great too, but I want to ask you, for novices, what kinds of things are changing and how do they affect the way wine looks and tastes?
Well, look, I mean, climate change it's making the highs higher, the lows lower.
Yeah.
Rain and hail and frost are coming at inopportune times. So it's forcing producers and grape growers to really pivot in interesting ways. The good news, however, is that more and more of them are really realizing that they can carry that torch forward and lead the way towards growing grapes and producing wines and spirits in such a way that's not just responding well to a changing climate, but also helping us to live in a more sustainable world.
Awesome. I mean, sustainability is like the word of the century here. It's big in the wine and spirits industry, and I want to call out some companies that are doing it to be more sustainable. So talk to me about them.
Yeah, so we have some great wines and spirits here today. And by the way, everything that we're going to be tasting today, all of these wines are available locally in Denver at Total Wines, at Applejack's. But we're starting off here. This is the Flora Lisa Pinot Grigio made from organic grapes. And what I love about this, and by the way, cheers to you.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me. So, look, they're focusing on environmentally conscientious winemaking. It's organic grapes. Even the packaging is designed to be sustainable with recycled materials.
Oh, wow.
So let's give this one a sip.
Okay.
And I love this, right? I mean,
Ooh, nice and fresh.
peaches, apples, pears, lemons. But what's interesting about this Pinot Grigio, it's sort of more in that center part of Italy along the Adriatic coast. It's a riper, richer expression of Pinot Grigio, and I love that for this sort of transition season. After that, we're moving on to red.
Okay.
We have here the Route 1 Cabernet Sauvignon. This is from Chile. And look, Route 1 is the first sustainably certified winery in Chile, which is amazing. They're implementing solar panels. All of the water they use for the production of their wines is being reused for irrigation. And 100% of their vineyard waste is being reused as fertilizer, right? So we'll give this one a sip.
Amazing.
And this is just silky. Currants, sage, some scrubby herbs. All these wines really prove that not only don't you have to sacrifice quality and deliciousness for wines that are produced sustainably, but oftentimes they're better, more clear expressions of a sense of place. After that, we're heading from Chile over to Spain. This is an historically critical winery. This is the Faustino Rioja Reserva. Look, this winery was founded in 1861. It is a fourth-generation winery currently being led by two sisters. It's the first producer in Rioja to be certified as sustainable wineries for climate protection. They have solar panels on the roof of their visitor center
that's awesome.
that actually generate enough electricity to power all of the winery's operations. So we give this one a taste.
Okay, let's try this.
What do you think of this one? I want to hear your opinion on this.
A little oaky? No, I don't know, but it's like divine.
You know what? I'm going to steal that. Can I use divine moving forward?
Please do.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a silkiness here, right? I mean, the tannins are silky. Dark fruit, a little spicy, a little savory, some stewed aromas. This one, to me, you throw a steak on the grill.
Yeah.
This is like liquid happiness right here.
I'll steal that from you. Liquid happiness. I like this
Done.
one.
It's a deal. 1 for 1 here.
1 for 1. It's a trade-off.
So look, climate change is not just affecting wine producers around the world, but also spirit producers. And too often, there's, I think, this sort of knee-jerk assumption that large producers are not necessarily working in the most environmentally respectful ways, but that's completely not the case. Throughout my research and reporting for Crushed, I found that many large producers are actually leading the way. And here we have Patron. This is the Patron Cristalino, and they're implementing a number of important and impactful initiatives, right? Including a commitment to reusing 100% of the permissible water by 2030. They're using their leftover agave fibers from the tequila production to make compost.
Oh, wow.
They actually make an average of 5,500 tons of fertilizer annually. I actually visited them this past winter, and I was blown away by what they're doing. So can we give this one a sip?
Yeah, let's try it. Cheers. This was college days, huh?
Yes. So this is an añejo, but it's cristalino. So they've filtered it in such a way that the color is gone. But I love this sort of vanilla. There's a richness to this. You do get that oak spice, that sweetness. But at the same time, there's an elegance, there's a vivacity to this. And Patron is also working with the agave farmers to increasingly grow agave and to farm in sustainable ways. Lots of work with soil management, conservation, but all of these wines and spirits today, they really embody the fact that the best wines and spirits can and absolutely should be sustainable.
Unbelievable. I'm so proud of these companies, including Patron. If y'all see this on the shelves, as you said, you pick this up because you know you are helping the environment. Ask your wine and spirit purveyor for the items we talked about today, and picked up, of course, the book Crushed, How a Changing Climate is Altering the Way We Drink by Brian Friedman. An excellent book, maybe a book club, and y'all can enjoy some wine tasting. That'd be a good idea. Thank you so much, Brian. That was delicious, and we hope more sustainability is on the way. Thanks for your company, Colorado. Portions of today's program were sponsored by the businesses listed on your screen. She has shared her culinary wisdom with us, but now she's back to help kick off a week of culture and food. Tomorrow on Coco, a favorite, Chef Mary is back with what she's serving up for Mile High Asian Food Week. And of course, we have want to say thank you to everybody. We have our wine, we have our donuts, we have our Whimsical Paperie. I am going to be a happy girl enjoying all of these. And of course, everyone you encounter, as I always say, is facing an uphill battle you know nothing about. So be kind, be gentle, be patient, and then apply that right back to yourself, because sometimes our inner critic, it's not that nice. All right, well, we'll see you next time, guys. So appreciative. I'm gonna go for a donut. Bye! All right.